old show. This is the big old show. This is the big old show. This is the big old show.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton and Ray. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Yes, sir. Welcome aboard. I'm in one hell of a mood. The Panthers got it done. They kicked some lightning ass. That goal right at the end of that period to make it 2-0. That was good. Sticking it to them, bitch. That was awesome. And, hey, the Dolphins got what they needed. There's only one problem. They need a shitload of stuff. So, what are you going to do? This guy is one of your elite tackles in the draft. This is a mover. This is one of those guys that just disrupt shit. He can take on tacklers. He's got the long arms. He's got the athleticism. He loves football. Character guy, all of that kind of stuff. I heard Saban praise him, saying him and another guy were like constantly a pain in the ass when we played them, and talking about what a disruptive guy he is. Here's the problem with, you Dolphin fans out there right now. Nobody's going to be happy. I told you this before the draft, because if they take a corner, they still need a lineman, an offensive lineman. Well, if they take a D lineman, they still need an offensive lineman or a corner. It just goes round and round. Some of you wanted to take a quarterback there. You know what I mean? So we're not going to make people happy. We tried to tell you they're not going to take a quarterback. They're trying to save their jobs. I think they tried to trade down, but they probably did not find what they wanted to trade down. And since it's not a sexy draft, that people, as you've noticed, it's not like a ton. It was only at the top. It's not like a ton of people are trading up. So it is what it is. And they filled a desperate need. They needed to put somebody next to Sealer. You got to stop people. Do they still need corners? Yeah. Do they still need offensive a guard? Yeah. Do they need a safety? Yeah. But that's just, look, this is those of you that feel like this, I need you to wake the hell up. You're not going to be a good team this year. Okay? I don't give a shit what you think. All right? So wake the hell up and just hope that the draft picks work out. That Grant becomes a good player, and whoever they pick in the second and third rounds, and that they become good players. Even if they become good players, it's not saving Mike McDaniel's job. It's not making this a good season. You can sit there and lie to yourselves and think, oh, well, if we get this, and if you get that, what? Where are you going? You have Mike McDaniel as your coach. So stop it already. Stop overreacting. Stop bullshitting. Think about the one move. Okay, if this guy turns into a heck of a player next to Sealer, you solved the problem for a long time. You got Sealer signed up, and then you'll have this kid in control for 5 more years. Plus, you'll be able to re-sign him if he's a player. Now you've gotten your tackles resolved. You needed that. It's a problem. You get pushed around. This is a guy that does pushing around. Something that the Dolphins constantly get pushed around. They need to start doing the pushing. This is the kind of guy you bring to the table. But again, ladies and gentlemen, they don't have enough. So it doesn't matter. So stop making it that is so desperate. Like, watch. Let me go through because I know this. I've been doing this for 35 years. Joseph, decent pick. Gus, great pick. One-Eyed Jack, I'm happy with the pick. Rod King, what the F? There you go. What does he think? That whatever pick was going to make you a playoff team or something? That if you pick one of the linemen or one of the corners, that all of a sudden you're going to become a great defense or something? I remember getting into an argument with Joe Rose on and off the air about Ndamukong Suh and how he came at me with a lot of stupid-ass shit about how Ndamukong Suh was going to make the Dolphin defense great. And I laughed at his face and the rest of you idiots that thought the same stupid-ass shit. We're not here to blow smoke up your ass. We're here to keep you in check and reality. Brennan Grogan, another reach pick by Dolphins. Why? Because you think that if you get the corner, you bring in Will, that's it, it's over? Another idiot. Another guy that thinks, why? Because some of you think that you're hopeful for this season will suck. Do you understand that? The Dolphins will suck. They're not making the playoffs. They have a terrible coach. Finally, by the way, you know what? And I want to thank Tony Pauline, because on this show, we've been telling you for a couple of months, since we actually have insight in the building, something most people don't in South Florida media. Okay? That's why we tell you that they don't want Dalton Reisner, but, other people in the media keep writing it and talking about it for 3 years. We told you, a ton of people have given up on Mike McDaniel in the building. People want out. Some were able to get out. Some aren't able to get out. A whole bunch of people know they're going to get fired. From scouting to coaching, players, they all know the shit is coming. Media relations and trainers, they're always safe. Rarely do they make changes there unless the head coach comes over from somewhere that was established and had their own media relations directors. Outside of that, trainers and media survive. Okay? Everybody else, have I not been telling you this for months now? They're nervous. Have I not been telling you that there are people that want out and people were happy to get out? Okay, so stop it. This is a good player. This is a player they need, but they need so much. Nothing is saving your season. No one you were picking at 13 is going to save your season. Understand that. No one. So grow the hell up. Stop being a child and thinking that you have to convince yourself it's going to be a good season. That way you can motivate yourself to watch. We're all going to watch. We'll cover it. We'll talk about it, but I'm preparing you. They will suck. They will suck. That's just the way it goes. We're now going to put the weight of the world on a bunch of rookies to come in and save the Dolphins. Come on, dude. That coach can't be saved. You lost Calais and Tehran and Holland, and you lost a shitload of leadership, and you've lost it over the last couple of years. Nothing's saving that guy. So enough already with this shit. Overreacting on a pick that isn't going to save anything. This is a damn good player. You needed him badly. They filled the need. Problem is, they have a shit ton of needs, and they're not going to be able to fill them. Please hit the like button, folks. We need that. Don't forget, you can also support the show by making a donation and keeping us alive at Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum chain link or Solana donation, which we always appreciate that, and thank you. Tommy, good pick. They need the big body. Exactly, dude. Skylar Tipton, Greer sucks lately, but this is a solid pick. That's all fair right there. You guys don't have to be happy with Greer. You don't have to be happy with McDaniel. You don't have to be happy with Tua, but just live in reality. Just live in reality. They're not overcoming this. They had their chance the last 2 years. This team will not be even better than last year or even close to the team that was 2 years ago. They're done, unfortunately. They had their window, and it closed on them. Grant will own Eichenberg from day one in training camp. I love that. I love that, Nyberg. That's the way to look at it. Grant is part of the Gordito gang. Exactly. You need some fat boys, bro. I told you guys, this draft had to be about the fat boys. Stop being the disorderlies. And that's the problem with the Dolphins. They have been the disorderlies. They need to become the fat boys. And they got a fat boy. And that's what you need. And if you can find in the second round a fat boy that can move some people at guard, go get the sumbitch. Obviously, it's got to be a guy that can move and get to the second level and that kind of stuff. Okay? We'll talk about a guard. We'll talk about corners that may be in the second round, and we'll have a little fun with that. But this is this is the position that they needed, and they got one of the big nasty fat guys that can really move people. Not just, hey, this is a good player. No, this is a really good player at this spot. This is a house, and that's what they needed. They needed a house next to see. And with the pass rushers that the Dolphins have, if these guys stay healthy and you fix the middle with this kid and Sealer, oh shit, it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Problem is, it's not saving this season, and that's where you guys have got to get off that train. It's not fair. You're beating yourself up for no reason at all. Nothing is saving this season. Let's hope these players turn out good and they can help the new coaching staff in 2026. You want me to be honest? Tackle is deepest position in draft. I simulated this 500 times. I'm sure you play with yourself a lot more than that, Scott. Sneak attack. I see so many talking bad about Greer. This is where Greer shines, selecting coaches. On the other hand, not so good. How about that third Michigan guy in the first 13? That's pretty good. I guess that's why they won the championship. John Valdez, horrible pick when you need to get a quarterback to replace the quarterback that you're going to get rid of. Yeah, see, again, nothing's saving your ass. And by the way, maybe you can't get rid of the quarterback. You have to tell him, bro, shut the F up and go play, and that's the way it is. I would tell him that. Too bad. You don't like it? Too bad. Sit out. We'll suspend you, and we don't have to pay you. Top 5 corners, yeah, we'll be gone. That's right. That's how it goes. Liana Perez, Panthers are going to kick Hagel's ass Saturday. Yeah, that dirty hit on Barkov. That's you know what you do in game 3, you win game 3, you take a 3-0 lead, and in that 4th game, you punish the shit out of them. And that's when you like really lay into them. They're breaking their you gotta win that 3rd game to really break their souls, man. You know, but this was good to go to Tampa and win those 2 games. That you just gutted those people. They just gutted Tampa. Okay, the Panthers are. That's why I was never concerned about the Panthers. Never concerned about the Panthers. Put it this way: the Panthers ain't the Dolphins. There ain't this version of the soft ass Heat. Okay. All right. That's not what the Panthers are all about. They have way more toughness than the Dolphins have ever displayed in 40 years. Let's get that shit straight. The last time the Dolphins ever resembled these Panthers was in the 70s. Since then, they've been able to get pushed around, and that's why I like the Grant pick, because you got to stop getting pushed around and got to start building that shit up. So, good pick by Greer. I'm good with that pick. It ain't saving McDaniel's job, but it's a good pick. Let's see. What else do we have here? Did anyone see the War Room? Fake handshakes all around. Reminds me of those, was it Toy Soldiers? Anybody ever see that movie? The kids that rebel and create all kinds of havoc, not Taps, but Toy Soldiers with Sean Astin, right? And then there's because it's some terrorists that take over the school or some shit like that. And then there's a scene where they create a diversion, right? And one kid was like key to it with like a cigarette and matches, and he like lit the smoke alarm. I don't know how I remember this kind of shit. But anyway, and he sets up, and then they're in the bottom, they're all celebrating. He's giving those like fake handshakes, like, yeah, thank you. You know, that kind of, so I'm thinking of Toy Soldier handshake after the smoke alarm goes off. Most of you are going, what's he talking about? I've never seen that. What? Anyway, one day you might run into Toy Soldier. Hey, was talking about this stupid movie. Anyway, Ariel says my reaction to the pick is meh. You all are foolish, bro. You're expecting the pick to be a savior or something like that. Eduardo Blasco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Thank you, sir. Big O, if we win the Super Bowl, we're going streaking. Oh, for sure. There's no doubt I'll be going streaking if that happens. They won't even win. They won't even get to the playoffs. Steve is in the house. Hateful Steve is in the house. He says, always got to show you love for doing 2 shows in one day. I love the pick. We'll need this guy when we rebuild in 2 to 3 seasons. Go Panthers. F Jimmy Butler. I'm out. I love, Hateful Steve is a special dude as it is, because he's a super supporter of this show, and we appreciate you, Steve. But he's realistic, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I love this guy because Kenneth Grant will fit any coach you bring next year. Okay? So when you do fire McDaniel in game 6 or 8 or 12, that Weaver takes over, and, whatever, I don't know what happens after that, but whoever comes in the following year, if it's Weaver or a new coach or whatever, they're going to look at Kenneth Grant, they're going to look at Sealer, and they're going to go, we're fine right there. We're fine right there. So that's what I love about Hateful Steve. He's got the perfect attitude. And thank you for the Venmo, Steve. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. You can send the super chats, and we appreciate it. But remember, YouTube takes 30%, and that's why we encourage Cash App or Venmo. Or for those of you out of the country, PayPal. You can use the QR code there. The great Sean Stanley is showing it to you there. Edward Blasco again. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I'm ready for the 26th draft. I'll be psyched. You'll get me back for the 26th draft. I've never been more depressed about a Dolphins team, season, everything. I'm completely defeated. Okay. What keeps me alive is that I have the Panthers, and Inter Miami should be a good season. And then, of course, the best team in the world right there. That's the best team in the world. That's the one that will never let me down right there. That's the ultimate team there that's coming through all the time. Bitcoin. So I am as defeated as it gets about this season, but I'm super pumped about Kenneth Gant helping the Dolphins this year and helping the Dolphins for years to come, because now you have resolved the issue of the 2 fat guys in the middle. Okay. And Christian Wilkins, it was super smart that they didn't re-sign him. He ends up getting injured, which we all would have been frustrated with all our luck as Dolphin fans. And now the reports are that his foot is not rebounding the way it should, and it could be a problem. So who knows? But the good thing is Miami got their guy, and now you've got those 2 spots filled, and I have no problem with it. And you need also a son of a bitch there. This guy brings that to the table. He's nasty. He moves people. He can take on blockers too. So he's not just a guy that can shed blocks. He's a guy that can hold up blocks. That's really, really important. Sometimes you have defensive tackles that are kind of one way. They're more just disruptive guys, not necessarily guys that can really hold the point at times, or hold the middle and hold up a guard and a center at the same time. This is the kind of guy that can do that. And then he allows linebackers to fly around and a safety to cut in and blitz, or whatever it is that you're going to call. So that's the beauty of having a guy like this. They haven't had, what am I going to say? What, Sean Pasolii was the last defensive tackle that moved people. Randy Starks. Can you guys help me out? Am I missing somebody after Starks till now? Wilkins, outside of Wilkins, but I'm saying before, they haven't had a guy like that in a while, and they need it. He can do the job, man. He can do the job. The kid is 6'4", 330, where he plays at 330, 340. Disruptive, long arms, just By the way, the power, the speed, he's got a lot. He can move for a fat guy. That's the other thing. So you want a guy that can shake off a block and penetrate and create problems and make it harder for the running back and all that good stuff. This is a good pick, man. It's a good pick. It's a good pick. It's just not saving your season, and you need to compartmentalize that. We'll be all better off as Dolphin fans. Don't think that this draft is saving your season. Don't think you're going anywhere or anything like. If it happens, hey man, they surprise us, fantastic. Okay, if this is the 03 Marlins and they want to surprise us with a season we didn't see coming, and all of a sudden they can go to the postseason and win, hey man, bring it on. I'm not gonna not welcome that. Okay, I would love to see that. Do I think it's going to happen? Of course not. But why am I going to do that to myself and to you guys? I get it. Writers have to sell papers, so they got to bullshit and try to draw anything up to at least create the image of hope, and then they can tear it down themselves. So much fun, huh? Build up something you know you're going to tear down. I'd rather just tear it down and tell you, like I did with Joe Philbin. When they hired Joe Philbin, I tell you, bro, this is nothing. This is done. This is a horrible hire, and it'll never work out. Sorry, it's just kind of the way it goes. And this is how I am for this season. This season's done. So let's hope that the draft works out for the future. Okay? Don't think about, oh my God, we need this for this year. You're going to go into the season with holes. You're going to go into the season with issues. You're going into the season with one of the worst game day coaches that exist. Who creates more holes than that guy? Nobody. Okay, so this draft is not saving your season. Let's just all hope and pray this is a building block tonight and the others for the future. That's what we got to hope for. I think we're all better off that way. And if they happen to surprise us, then, hey, man, God bless them. Thank you. I appreciate it. Rojas says, pick of necessity, whether it's a good pick or not, time will tell. But Rojas, if they pick a corner, pick of necessity. If they pick a guard tackle, pick of necessity. If they pick a safety, pick of necessity. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the beauty of the team. For some of you, if they pick a quarterback, a shit ton of you would have been happy. I told you they wouldn't, because they're trying to save their jobs. They need the miracle season that I don't think can possibly happen. They need it to save their jobs. Okay? They need it to save their jobs. I did a rant that the great Sean Stanley put up there about agendas in this draft, and you should listen to it. And I don't think that's what people don't realize. The Steelers are selecting a defensive tackle, dude. They're taking Derek Harmon. Did the kid get picked? No. So Shador passed the Steelers. Wow.
Jeremiah said he might fall out of the first round.
Wow. This is Aaron Rodgers like falling all the way down to 20-something. This is Brady Quinn falling Brady Quinn fell like to the back end of the first round, right? It wasn't second round, right? I want to say it was back in the first round. I forgot how it went. Breeze had question marks. So people didn't believe in Breeze's arm strength. And so I can understand why he went in the early part of the second round. So that's fair. The Aaron Rodgers one, I always say this. There's an agent named David Cantor, if you guys know who he is. And I always give David a lot of love, besides being a good dude, and I've known him for years, always been great to me. But I always give him credit, because I remember that offseason, I talked to a shit ton of NFL people and all that. Not one of them told me that, oh, no, Aaron Rodgers for sure. No, they liked his talent and all that. But nobody was like, oh, no, that guy's going to be a star. Nobody said that except David Cantor. And he wasn't the agent for Aaron Rodgers. He had a workout here in the Orange Bowl. If you see a picture of me and Olsen at the beginning that Sean plays, it's at that same workout. And Aaron Rodgers was there, and he like killed it. Okay, it was like a killer workout. And I crossed paths with Cantor that day at the place, and he goes to me, "That Rodgers guy is going to be a star," and he was right. He was right. Got to give him credit. What do you got? What do you got, Sean?
Quinn fell to 22.
22. Okay. And where are we at now in the draft? We're like at
we're at 22 right now. The Chargers, at least on the announcing. I don't know what's on social media, but
Chargers don't need him. Green Bay doesn't need him. Minnesota doesn't need him. They've got their own kid.
Baltimore, Houston, the Rams maybe
need him. The Rams could take him to sit him behind Stafford.
If it's not taken there, you've got Baltimore, Detroit, Washington, Buffalo.
Well, Baltimore doesn't need him because it's a completely different offense they run, so he wouldn't fit what they do.
Yeah, there's nobody else that needs a quarterback.
He has the Tennessee kid sitting behind Goff. Remember the Tennessee kid that blew out his knee?
Yep,
he's there. So they already have a young quarterback. Washington has it. Buffalo could draft him to put him behind Josh Allen. Actually, Chiefs could draft him to put him behind, but they need offensive line so badly and all that.
But the problem is there offensive linemen there? Because the offensive linemen are bad right here.
Yeah, you're not getting anything like incredible. No, you're right about that. No, you're right. Can't disagree with that. Some of you wanted Tyler Warren, but they're trying to save their jobs, so they're not going to take the tight end. And that's the part that, like, I know some of you are like, no, you gotta take the guy. He's a hell of a player, and it's true, he's a hell of a player. But they already have a hell of a player in Jonnu Smith. So just crazy shit, dude. Crazy shit. What are you going to do? Zabel's another guy that a lot of people thought they would take. Jahdae Barron, the Texas corner. I kept calling him Brown. Jahdae Barron, 20th, went to Denver. Yeah, he's going to drop out of the first round, dude, because most everybody here doesn't need a quarterback. They would only draft him as a luxury to be a backup, because these are all the good teams on the back end. That's why they're in the back end. They have a quarterback. Oh man, what are you gonna do? Corso, what's up, baby? Hello, Music Trump will be tariffed hard this year. Get over it, people. Oh, Rage Against the Machine or Alice in Chains. P.S. This is the way. Corso, thank you again for the super chat, bro. Very nice of you. Very kind. I'm going to go Alice in Chains over Rage Against the Machine. Okay. Morello is phenomenal. Okay. But I'm more of an Alice in Chains guy than a Rage Against the Machine. Rage is one of those bands that I respect their music, but I'm not in love with their music. I'll listen to them, but I don't necessarily covet it. Okay? Alice in Chains, I can jam that a lot. Okay? Rage Against the Machine, yeah, I'll jam it every once in a while. It's like Pantera. Yeah, they're good. I love the groove, but I'm going to listen to Metallica a hell of a lot more. 5 billion to 1. I'm going to listen to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, and, just there'll be a slew of them before I get to, you know what I'm saying? Not that I don't like them, but they're kind of low on my totem pole. So for me, Alice in Chains is way ahead of Rage Against the Machine. That's just me. I can understand many of you for disagreeing with me and going for rage. God bless you. It's a matter of taste. That's all it is. Not a lack of respect, because I have immense respect, but more of an Alice in Chains guy, if anything. Let's see. The Miami Dolphins party has elected Weaver as our next head coach. Jimbo says people do not realize we need not one, but 2 or 3 D linemen just this year, plus 2 CBs and a safety, and all they have, and all of them have to be impact people. Not happening. They need this plus 2 more drafts and good ones. Yeah. Jimbo, I love you, brother. You're my kind of listener. You're realistic. You're a real Dolphins fan like us. We're going to be all watching. We're all going to be rooting. We'll watch all 7 freaking rounds of this shit. Okay? But we know what's up. This ain't saving shit. Let's hope that they're good players and they'll be here for years to come. That's all I'm praying for. That's all I'm hoping for. They stay healthy, because we've had enough with injuries. I'd like to have a streak for a few years where we don't suffer too many. I know you got to suffer some injuries, but not as many would be nice. Would be also nice if we had a quarterback that decided not to seek contact when he can't afford to do it. That also would be nice, but but at least you are, Jimbo, you're realistic, my brother. Much love to that, because you will not go crazy this year. You know it's coming, so you don't torture yourself. Those people, oh no, we're going to be good. We're going to win 12 games and we're going to get in the playoffs. And this is the year that we win. And then at the end of the year, they're all pissed and frustrated. You and I will be, okay, we finally got through this season. Let's move on. Who's coming? Who's the next coach finally? Let me get excited again now. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be me. That's what's going to rejuvenate me, when I can Bob Seger this bitch and turn the page. Silver Dome. Sanders gonna drop. Yes, well, my man, he's dropping. He's dropping like a rock. And maybe that whole being a dislike thing backfired on him. We'll see. Or maybe he ends up on a good team. Good for him. We'll see. Only one that can save McDaniel's job is Tua. If Tua stays healthy, they can win 10 games, and Ross will keep all the suffering with Greer and McDaniel. I don't agree with that. I think they have to win a playoff game. They have to win a playoff game. You cannot keep McDaniel if he cannot win a playoff game, because it's just, you've wasted a lot of money in picks and built the team the way he wanted. And I'm sure this year, something tells me that Greer and company in the front office are going to say, we're going to pick who we want. And no, what kind of player you want? Okay, we'll get it for you. We don't need your suggestions. If they want to save their ass, if they want a chance at saving their ass. So we'll see. Do the Browns trade back up to the first round to take him? You know what, Nyborg? That could happen, since they aren't the Browns the ones that traded back? So they got capital. So that could be how they use to get back into the latter part of the first round. Nyborg, that's a very, very astute comment on your part. It could end up happening. Yeah, could have. That might be it. I don't think the Giants are. They took the 2 veteran quarterbacks. I'm convinced the Giants will not take him. No way. This gentleman that said Browns, that one makes sense. That one makes a lot of sense. Let's see who else. Damn, I didn't get the notification that you went live. Sorry, Too Extreme. Big O, do you like the band Dirty Honey? Brother, do you watch this show? Does he watch this show? I just saw him live back-to-back a few months ago at the Troubadour and the Whiskey A Go-Go, and they're an LA band, back-to-back nights. When I was there in LA for like a week or something. And I'm going now. I just bought tickets to see Dirty Honey with I'm seeing them 2 nights. Damn it. Now I'm forgetting. And let me cheat. because my boys send me the billboard now. The Struts. So it's the Struts and Dirty Honey. I'm seeing them in Orlando and Tampa, and that'll be on August 25 and 26. So expect me to do those shows in Orlando and Tampa from there. I think it's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. I'll be there I already bought my tickets for the Struts and for Dirty Honey. So I will be there to see them twice. I love the Struts. My wife loves the Struts. But I am a sicko Dirty Honey fan now. Like Greta Van Fleet and Dirty Honey are like my favorite new bands. Like, and I'll go like I said, I went and saw them at the Troubadour and the Whiskey A Go-Go, and they played 27 different songs in those 2 nights. They played their entire catalog and the covers that they do and everything. So it was really cool. They're fantastic. So yes. If you follow this show, you would know that I love Dirty Honey. Let's see. Too Extreme says he has a feeling the Dolphins will trade up early in the second round to get Will Johnson. We'll see. What else do we have here? I just smashed the like button. Thank you, Mario. Please, all of you, smash. There's 244 watching and only 115 have smashed. So please, thank you to the 115. Those of you that haven't smashed, you can easily get us to 200, dude. How cool would that be? That would be very grateful. Thank you. Let's see. Shador Sanders is Bronny James. I love that. David Sorson, millionaire son of a Hall of Famer, gifted starting job. I think he'll be a good quarterback. I just think he probably gave too many people an attitude. But if he goes somewhere where you block for him, he's a passer, man. Corso, once again. Do you want to tank again? Do we need to? Corso, that's not up to us. They're going to try to save their jobs. That's why they didn't take a quarterback like a lot of you wanted, or a tight end at 13. Those aren't things they're going to take. Those are luxuries. They need to save their job, so they had to take a defensive lineman, an offensive lineman, a corner, a desperate position. So the tanking stuff and all that, everything's about agendas. So a lot of fans have a different agenda of what they would love to see. Fire this person, redo everything, all that kind. No, draft a tight end. No, draft a quarterback. No, draft, that you guys have an agenda. Well, Greer and McDaniel have a completely different agenda, and they're trying to save their ass. So there is no tanking. Okay? McDaniel will kind of tank because he'll suck. He has less to work with, and he's a bad coach. Just do the math. Think about that. He has less to work with in year 4, way less than he did in year 2, less than he did in year 3, and he's a bad coach. Math is simple right there. It tells you where we're going. Okay? Let's see where else. Where is Dirty Honey playing? They are playing at Janice Live in Tampa, and they are at Orlando. They are, I believe, at Hard Rock. Okay? Hard Rock in Orlando, Janice Live in Tampa. All right? There you go, No Doubt. And you better seek me out, you bastard. If you go out to one of those, No Doubt, I want to meet you. If you guys ever are out there and you see me, say hi. Always love meeting the people that support our show, man. And we appreciate it. Sean and I appreciate it immensely. We damn sure shouldn't went after Vrabel. Look at that O-line he has put together, huh? You saw that, right? And he drafted an O-lineman right away. He's got a young quarterback. Protect him. What a concept. Mike Vrabel gets it. But you know what I wanted to do. Again, my agenda was fire McDaniel right after the Colts loss last year and go after Vrabel right there and hand them the keys and say, look, do what you want. Let's go. We'll do what you need. We're so screwed. Now the Patriots got Vrabel. What a smart move that is, dude. Tommy and Hialeah says, I'm fine with the pick. We need that big body disruptor. Exactly, dude. And the next coaching staff is going to need him big time. I like the pick. I think Ross had something. Nah, I don't think so. Now, Pablo, if he kicks ass, Greer and company like took his boy, you know, so that makes him happy. Might keep him around a little bit longer. Let's see. Big O, are you still going to Morrissey next? Of course, dude. What kind of a question is that? What is wrong with you? I'll be in the pit. Me, the wife, and my daughter will be in the pit. Okay. So if you see me there, and if you're going to be at the pit, tell me, or come right down to the pit or something and tell me something on social media. I'll be there a little early. I'll get there like 15, 20 minutes before Morrissey gets on. But I'll be there, bro. I'll be at the Morrissey concert. I'll be in the pit, baby. Can't wait. Love it. Whew, that's going to be fun, man. Let's see. Wish Bill was here to see his reaction to the Bears taking the tight end. Yeah, he would have been freaking out. Another tight end, because the Bears are professionals at tight. They love their tight ends, bro. It's like Matt Millen and wide receivers, Bears and tight ends. Let's see. Scott Bonus says, I like the pick. This guy is the reason Mason Graham was a stud, because Grant was always double team. Yeah, dude, we're good. And he can disrupt. He does both things. He doesn't just hold. Like, I'll give you an example. Tim Bowens wasn't really a penetrator disruptor. He was the guy that would hold up blocks. That was kind of his job, and he was an expert at that. Were there times that he got some penetration and got a running back and all that kind of stuff? For sure. But that really wasn't his A game. Okay. He was a monster and he was awesome, but his role was different. And that's because his talent was suited to do this. And that's what they needed in the scheme. And then whether it was Gardner or whoever else next to him, that would be more of the disruptor. Understand? Well, this kid can do both. Not every defensive tackle is like that. Some of them are guys that are disruptors and they really aren't strong enough, sturdy enough to hold up, a couple of guys. Some guys are not as mobile, so they're great at holding up a couple guys because they're really strong and sturdy. But when it comes to trying to shed and penetrate and quickness and all, that's not their thing. You understand? This kid does it all. It's a good pick. But again, no pick is saving your season. So please reprogram yourself. Okay? This kid will help out future coaching staffs. That's the important part. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yeah, so I agree the show. It's just that's a problem. So many needs, man. Actual coaches know how to coach, run specialists, McDandy, design, dress trendy. Yeah, it's a fair assessment, unfortunately. All right, so I made a list here of a couple of people. Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State, guard tackle, is a guy that could be floating in that 48 area. Josh Connerly, Oregon kid, guard tackle. Marcus Mabau, guard tackle, Purdue. Again, guys that, remember, you want a guy that has some versatility because you are playing a young tackle. So if the young tackle happens to struggle, you want a guy that can play guard tackle and you can move him out and maybe you bring Paul inside or something, which would be a real trip for Tua, but not that that's the perfect scenario. The perfect scenario is that Paul stays, but you want versatility just in case Paul gets injured. You'd like to go to your swing, but really, if you have a young guy that's a stud, he can help you out at left tackle. Cornerbacks, Siobhan Revel out of East Carolina, Trey Amos out of Mississippi, Ben Morrison out of Notre Dame, Darian Porter out of Iowa State. These are corners that might be floating around in that area at 48, So we'll see what they end up taking. But, I mean, you figure that could be an area. I don't think safety, actually. When you start looking at it, I don't know if you really take safety at that spot. But corners and guards, tackles, you might be able to pick one up there. You got your defensive tackle. That's another part that's strong, but you could get another one in the third round. This is deep enough that you can wait to the third round and pick up another defensive tackle if you want for the rotation, So that's another thing that you can do. Again, it's you cannot freak out and say, oh my God, they could have gotten this. They need this. They need so much. There's no way they're going to fill the needs. There's just no way. It's impossible for them to fill all the needs. Let me see what we got here draft-wise. Yes, sir. What do you got?
For the first time in 23 years, the Green Bay Packers selected a wide receiver, Matthew Golden, out of Texas, and the crowd erupted. You would think they just won the Super Bowl.
That's funny. So after Grant, Tyler Warren went from Penn State. He went to the Colts. Jalen Walker, the linebacker, went to Georgia. From Georgia, went to the Falcons. Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle from Ole Miss, went to the Cardinals at 16. Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher, went to Cincinnati from Texas A&M. Greg Zabel, the NFL films guy. No, I'm sorry. North Dakota State guard went to Seattle. A couple of you got it. Some of you others were like, what's he talking about? Emeka Egbuka, the Ohio State wide receiver. He went to Tampa Bay. Jahdae Barron, kept calling him Brown. The quarterback from Texas went to the Broncos at 20. Derek Harmon went to the Steelers, the defensive tackle out of Oregon. Amarian Hampton, the North Carolina running back that a lot of people like, went to the Chargers at 22. And then the aforementioned Matthew Golden that Sean talked about, the wide receiver out of Texas, goes to the Green Bay Packers. So the Minnesota Vikings at number 24 is on the clock right now. So there you go. Big O, you are talking me into this pick. We need to build the trenches for the next coach. Exactly. That's the look, dude. If they want to shock me this year and be a good team, I'm not going to complain. That's fantastic. I need a good year. I'm a Dolphins fan. I've been suffering for 40 plus. Okay, so give it to me. Great. But I'm not expecting much. So if it happens, fantastic. If it doesn't, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. But I am going to take the attitude that I'm going to look at this draft and I'm going to hope that these are good picks that help a foundation for the future. Because I just don't think that this is the coach that's going to be building any kind of future here. That's all. So, folks, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation or Chainlink or Solana, which is now new. And, of course, you can make a donation on PayPal for those of you that are out of town. We appreciate it. Sean and I are trying to go to Spain this year. This is the one game we want to cover on the road. I don't think it's going to be a special year, but this game at least will be special because they're playing in Spain. There's a Dolphins bar in Spain, so we want to broadcast all week long there leading up to the game and do our pre and post from there. So help us go to Spain. There's the QR code. You can make the donation there. As always, we appreciate it. We thank, of course, Welton and Ray. Thank you to Jeff Welton and Daniel Ray, proud sponsors of our program and the reason why we're on every single day. 954-966-4646. If you need lawyers that you can count on, folks, if you're dealing with homeowner property damage, business owner claims, commercial litigation, bankruptcy, please call Jeff Welton or Daniel Ray, and the consultation's free. So if you don't know if you have a case, you can ask them. They'll tell you. 954-966-4646. We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. live, all right, from Acura of Pembroke Pines. We'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Go Fins.
This is the Big O Show.